Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on A World Awakening. And oh my God, how the world is awakening. Yeah. Okay. So tonight, I'm going to just hop right in and make the very most of our almost an hour. You can see everybody's here. Lynn Ann Bowling, my Linny, Deb DeRoos, Kendra Watson, and, God knows you all know me, the Yankee Swamp Hag. Okay, so here's the deal. I clean up okay, though. Go stop. Tonight is a very important show. It means a great deal to me personally. I know so many thousands of people of every persuasion, and the love that I feel, the honor, the respect, the reverence that I feel for humanity is I don't really have words for it. So I tried to capture it to the best of my ability in the title and the description for tonight's show. It's called Transformation, capital TRANS, Transformation, an Important Conversation. And the description of the show is as follows. In a world with so many variables in its equation, we address more than an issue. We will introduce our viewers to a beautiful person named Kendra Watson. Lynn Ann Bowling and I, along with Deb DeRoos, will provide a platform for a subject that must not be overlooked and the people impacted by the cruel political climate that vilifies them. So here we are. Anybody that wants to hop out because they just heard the word politics, sorry. Some government runs every country in the world. Have a conversation of any relevance at all that doesn't include politics and religion. I'll give you, a gold star, because there's just nothing more important that's going on in the world right now, and is responsible for wars, and is responsible for peace, and is responsible for chaos and upheaval, and is responsible for calm. And it's all wrapped up. And unfortunately, I feel like part of the paradigm shift that I have been talking about is the nullification and vilification of people that don't look, dress, or sound like us. And so, again, we confront the notion of do unto others as though you are the others. We're all the others to someone. Mm-hmm. So, Lenny, I would like you to introduce, you introduced me to Kendra. You introduce Kendra.
Oh, I don't know if I'm I'm a good one to do that. Okay, I am your behind the scenes gal. I am so nervous when I do get on camera. So I seem to have this thing where when people reach out to Andrea, there are people I connect with without knowing why or anything like that. And that is what happened with Kendra. I connect with everybody, but I don't know. There's just sometimes a little bit more in that. And I know that they need to be part of our circle is a big piece of it. And I knew that about Kendra.
Into the vortex.
Yes.
That is what you do. Deb does the same thing. She's not, and she knows.
Yep. So yes, that's really all it is.
I love you, Lenny.
Well, I love you. Nothing makes me happier than when my friends make friends with my friends. It's just, but you're the one that introduced me to Kendra and said, you have got to talk to Kendra. And we did. We connected immediately. I was sitting waiting for my sister to buy a car in the Subaru dealership. Mm-hmm. And that's when we had our first back and forth wonderful conversation.
I should have known when I got a call from somebody in Georgia.
I know. Well, that's because she gives everybody's phone numbers to me. She does. She's like, call Kendra. Call Kendra. So Kendra, why don't you tell us about yourself, and then I'll bring Deb on so that she can bring her perspective into this according to her own experience.
Okay, well, I am 24 here in Illinois. I live a seemingly normal life, except that I am trans. So, um, I've never really had like an easy experience with this. Like it was relatively simple to just come out of the closet, if you will, because it was harder being in it, right? But um, I wasn't kicked out of the house. I wasn't, I, I'm thankful for that. I have not had any sort of horror story with it.
And there are too many of those. Yes.
Too many. And not to say it doesn't make it, easier, but with having a good, upbringing and, I do have very conservative family and, it's unfortunate, they're Trumpers, but, I say pretty much they're the only people that I'll allow in my space of that political side. Otherwise, it's fuck off, But, when this election happened, I think it just kind of became so surreal. Like, um, you know, 2016 when he became president, I was still in high school, so it didn't affect me as an adult. But I see every time I log into any social media that this is affecting people um, anywhere in the country, even outside of the U.S. It's affecting everybody.
Everybody in the LGBTQ plus category of humanity has a target on their back.
Yep. Yeah. And I'll admit, I got a little pessimistic after the election, just seeing, let's all fight and let's all stick together. I'm like, man, our fight was November 5th. But like Andy said, I think last week, we never learned the lesson the easy way. We never. No. So I just got to get through it,
I know. And, I, honest to God, Kendra, I know I discussed this with you because we went deep right away. And I said, as painful a notion as this is, I think it's most likely the truth. And that is that everything happens for a reason. This had to happen this way, or it would have happened another way, and we wouldn't have learned anything.
Yeah.
So, but look at, from abject despair 3-4 months ago to mobilization and momentum now, like I haven't seen in this country in my lifetime. And I lived through the Vietnam War protests. Deb, and I know you did too. We're basically the same age. It is amazing what is happening. I turned on the news this afternoon. Chris and I had to run around and do some stuff. And when we came home, I was watching some event that was taking place in like a blood red state, and there were 10,000 people there. Like, what is happening here? And what is happening is the paradigm shift. What is happening is the awakening. What is happening is the zone has been so flooded that we're all having to float to the surface of it and flip over and float because it's so overwhelming. And yet, in spite of all of that, I have said over and over, everyone that watches this show has heard these words out of my mouth. No one is free until everyone is free. It is an all or nothing proposition.
Mm-hmm.
And so for anyone to ridicule and berate and belittle another person because of the way they were born is, to me, the height of ignorance, and I have no tolerance for it. Lenny, we were on the phone a little earlier today, and I want you to speak to this.
Mm-hmm.
You and I, a few weeks ago, basically at the same time, watched the film Conclave.
Yes.
And without throwing a spoiler into it,
No spoilers.
who hasn't seen it yet, I would highly encourage, especially during Holy Week on this Friday, take a couple of hours. The film will change the way you think about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not already there, if you're
Right.
not already there.
Right. Or it will give you just even more evidence that what you feel is right.
Yes.
If you already feel that way, it will just cement your beliefs.
Well, every one of us has people in our lives that we cherish and adore. I have close friends whose children are trans, who did everything in their power when their child came to them and said something, hi, Terry, said something akin to, Mommy, I think I was born in the wrong body. That is a very, very powerful statement. Now, let's not kid ourselves. Every one of us is a natural co-creative phenomenon of divine consciousness, or, source energy, or God, or whatever you want to call it. We are all children of the universe. And there is none of us, not any of us, that is a defect or should be rejected in no matter what form we come, no matter what part of us speaks to our own soul and says, I need to make this change to feel comfortable in my own skin. And so this phenomenon has existed for as long as humanity has existed.
Yes.
10% of the world population is exclusively homosexual.
Yep.
Exclusively. And all through the ages, those of us that were perceived as different, those of us that were called witches, those of us that, Deb, speak to this, the persecution, the history of persecution, the same way that I know the history of persecution, and that there's nothing I find more offensive. And I know that you have a personal connection. Deb, why don't you speak to that?
Well, I have many personal connections. And Andrea, you're exactly right. Kendra, I do want to say welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy to see your face and meet you.
Oh my God, you guys too. It's so weird, like being on here.
Yeah, it's weird.
Kudos to you for doing this, because
Yes.
I'll tell you, with everything that is going on, people are absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
And Andrea and I did a show last week, and one of the comments I made is nobody is safe right now.
No.
But I have some people close to me whom I truly love with all my heart, who are trans and who knew all their lives they had the wrong body, and I could attest to that. Of course, the persecution has been horrible, absolutely horrible. I have to say, as somebody who has lived a little different life, to put yourself in that position, nobody's going to come out and say, guess what? My body doesn't go with my soul, so I'm going to do this just for the heck of it.
Or the hell I'll hear they just do it to get in the bathrooms and
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Fuck
if
off
that
with
were the
that.
case,
Oh
they
my
would
Yeah.
Yeah,
go
fuck
after
all the way
anyway.
off with
You're
that.
automatically hit with that sticker, pervert, pervert.
Right.
Yep.
It's cruel beyond. It's cruel beyond belief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it truly is. And they don't think about what it's like for that person to go to a public place and really need to use the restroom and be terrified to go in there. But with everything that's going on, it's really almost put people in hiding.
Mhm.
So bless you, Kendra, for coming and being on like this. It's also made many LGBTQA people super depressed, fearful, suicidal. It's horrible what's going on.
Well, everyone is terrified. Everyone
As
should
they
be
should
terrified.
be. Yes,
Yeah.
they should be.
Yeah.
Because
And there's legitimate fear and
Mhm.
illegitimate fear. This is legitimate fear.
Mhm.
When people
Absolutely.
can be dragged off the streets and flown to a gulag in El Salvador, that can, if that
You're
can
a U.S.
happen to one of
citizen.
us, it can happen to any of us. And you know what? I have no fear at all. I don't know if I was born this brave, if I evolved to this, but what's that meme you sent me, Lenny? I have
What?
no more fucks to give.
0 fucks left. No more fucks to give.
Fucks left to give. You want to come after me, you come after me, because you know what? I've got my own army behind me.
Yep.
A spiritual light workers that would, come after me for providing a platform for people to speak their truth from their heart to others in the hopes that they become somewhat more enlightened about who and what this extraordinary period of time reflects. But Kendra, I didn't get the impression, not for 1 minute, that you were afraid of anything. I could be wrong about that. I mean, in your heart of hearts, I know you've been depressed. I know you've been anxiety ridden.
Yes.
I know. And that is absolutely all legitimate. Deb and Lenny, I mean, we talk every day. Oh God, you know what? Next. Oh my God.
I think I'm past the scared part. It's more of mad as hell.
Yeah,
Good.
mad as hell,
Good.
not going to take it anymore.
Good.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's where we are. Hey,
Move into anger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you ladies know, anybody out there that's listening? I am a student of history. I grew up in New England. I grew up, visiting places like Salem and Lexington and Concord, and when I was a child, stood on the foundation blocks of the Old North Church in Boston. And my mother and my father told us, before we even learned it in school, told us the story, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea, with the lanterns up in the spire of the Old North Church, to let the people in Boston and beyond know that the British were coming. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. The redcoats were coming. And it was on this night, 250 years ago, right now, that Paul Revere was on the fastest horse in the Massachusetts Bay Colony, going from village to village to village to village, letting the people know that the redcoats were coming. And when they arrived at Lexington and Concord, they walked into an army waiting for them, a militia of ragtag colonists who were waiting for them. And thus began the revolution right now, tonight.
Wow. I did not know that, Andrea.
No, you do.
Some real shit.
You do.
Yes. Yeah. So if things like that don't give us hope,
And
Yeah.
hold up the lantern. Hold up the
Exactly.
lantern.
Yep.
That's what we must do.
That's what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
That's what we're going to do.
Yes. And shine that spotlight on every single individual. We are a collective. Yes.
Yeah.
We are a society, a collective. Yes, we are. But it is incumbent upon each and every one of us to support and to cherish each other and to respect our differences, to even admire our differences,
Mhm.
because they grow us as a society. There should be no, whataboutism. This is a time for us to come together and to understand that everyone is valid, that everyone is valuable, that everyone deserves a chance to live their best life in pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So says the paperwork, the story, the drama, and the chronicling of the revolutionary experience, the result of people thinking there's a better way to live. There's a better way to live, and that is self-rule. And that is being challenged now. And that is being challenged in a way that I don't think any of us could have even 10 years ago expected that this might be a potential outcome to what we have seen over the course of a decade. It has taken that long to light the fuse. And I do believe that as it approaches explosion level, millions and millions and millions and millions of us will flood the streets of America and say, oh, hell no. My poster, I went on April 5th. I'm going again tomorrow to Atlanta. It's just down the road, about 45 minutes. Finding a parking spot takes longer than driving there. But my poster says, I made it myself. I made posters for everybody in our entire family. We all went. My poster says, I'm fighting stage 4 cancer, and I am here, big letters, to fight for democracy. It's as important to me as my own life. I could be home laying on the couch watching it, flipping through the, news feed. Oh, look at the crowd there. Oh, look at the crowd there. I want to be in the crowd. I want to be a voice in the darkness, in the depths of the deprivation that we are seeing, the damage that is being done.
Yeah.
And tomorrow the theme is no kings.
Yep.
We defeated a king once. We shouldn't have to do it again. But then again, we also had rights to our own bodily autonomy for 50 years, and we're having to fight that fucking fight again. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes history repeats itself until you learn your lessons.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scream.
We're going back farther than 50 years. We're starting suffrage up, with voting,
Yes.
19.
With the SAVE Act, we've definitely gone backward.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
because only women changed their last names, not men.
Yep.
Yeah. This is all being done deliberately to silence us. And when I'm told to shut up, I don't know about any of you ladies, but when someone tells me to shut up, oh my God, I don't need a bullhorn. Nope. And I don't care how many tumors I've got in my lungs, you're gonna hear what I've got to say.
Yep. And every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best way to make us louder.
Yes.
It is.
Tell me not to do something.
Exactly.
Charlotte, my ass, hush, hush.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think, it's important that people understand that the more they get out there, I know it's scary to speak up. It's
Yeah.
scary to go to these rallies. It's scary to kind of out yourself.
Oh, I didn't find it scary. I was excited.
Well, for some people,
For
it's
some,
scary.
yeah.
It really is. It's safer to stay home and be quiet. I've literally had people who do love me tell me, Deb, you have to shut up.
No.
You need to.
Uh-uh.
But when we speak out, when we stand up, that gives us hope and that gives us strength. And that lets us know you're not taking us down. We're fighting for our country, not only our country, our world, our people who we love, our people like Kendra and millions and millions of others. So get out there.
Jamila started to, she said a lot last week about how white women have to step up. We have to step up.
We have to.
We do not have a choice. This time it is us. This time it does come down to us. Some people might know that I just had a significant loss in my life. I lost someone who I considered one of my bonus children. I have kids that have come into my life that I'm your mom now. I'm your mom. You need something, you let me know. And I was not privileged to be there for the beginning of their life when they came into the world, but I was here when they left the world. And it was a privilege and an honor, and it was so precious to have that time with them. And so many people don't have that. Jesus, I do not know. There's nothing that my child could do to make me just absolutely turn my back on them. I don't understand it. So it's upsetting, but we have to act this time. I didn't really the first administration. This time I'm going to. This time I have to speak up. We white women have to speak up for all of the people that can't.
Right.
When I went to the rally in Atlanta on April 5th, what I found most encouraging was the incredible eclectic mix of people. There were children, there were dogs, nobody brought cats that I saw, but lots of dogs, lots of kids, every color in the rainbow, every age group. I sat and talked for hours with elderly women in wheelchairs who found a way to get there, held hands, cried on each other's shoulders. I wasn't the only one who had my own personal fight going and found my way there. And, I would love to. I was thinking today, I put on my poster, I am here, a defiant, definitive statement of my presence and why I was there. But really, I want us to have a national and international voice. And I want, tomorrow is no kings. I want one, even if we organize it. And we can do that. We certainly have that reach. We certainly do.
Oh, yes.
I want us to have one. And I want it to be, we are here. Deb, Lenny, you know the significance of that statement for me. That's been the title of lectures that I've given at the UFO Con. And we'll probably give again next weekend when we gather together, as we will, in Houghton Lake for a mystical retreat weekend.
Yay.
I know that there are many, many people coming. I personally going to brave humanity, not at a march, but to get on a plane at Atlanta Hartsfield Airport. Oh, Mother of God, please keep me in your prayers. And fly to Detroit and drive up to Houghton Lake in the heart of Michigan.
Mm.
And we, like-minded, freewheeling, Yankee swamp hag, white light witches are all going to get together with the Reiki healers and with the, I mean, you know, our shaman and our, all of, all the light that can be stuffed into one pinpoint on the planet.
Yeah.
And,
okay, let me go get tickets.
okay.
Come on up, Kendra.
Yeah.
Come on up,
Love
Kendra.
to
You're
have
not
you.
that far away. You could make the
No.
drive, babe. You know you could. It is, we need this because we need to actively alter the vibration.
Yes.
We need to raise the vibration. We need to enhance the frequency. We need to lift each other up and look up.
Yes.
Because we are not alone in this, and we are here. It is a defiant, definitive statement of our existence and our presence. And one of the things on my poster it says, respect existence or expect resistance. Well, we are the resistance. It is us. We are here. The time is now.
Yeah.
Amen. Absolutely.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to tuck my soap back underneath the sofa, or one of the dogs is gonna trip on it.
I'll put it on the plane and bring it with you.
Talk amongst yourselves. I have an exposed soft underbelly of a Chihuahua.
Got it.
Needs to be patted just for a moment. Just, you know, go ahead.
Pat peanut butter cup.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Absolutely.
So Kendra, what are some things that you find helpful to support you in the daily world today? What can people do? How can we help you? How can we help somebody who is feeling alone?
I mean, for me personally, I'll curl up and either I would say read a book, but I'm so ADHD. I have to listen to Audible. It has to be audiobooks.
Same.
You know, I'll read a book, but that'll take me longer than listening. I can't sit and I got to be up and moving. Podcasts, just listening to people like me or like-minded, kind of helps ground me. Or, you know, like I'll open up TikTok, and that app it sways both ways for me. I'll open it up and I'll see some bullshit, and then I'll get in a bad mood, and you know, or I'll open it up and I'll see something wonderful. You know, it's social media has its
best and the worst. Yeah.
yeah.
Best and the worst.
Yep.
And you know, just I go to a support group.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah, so that does help a lot. But definitely just being around, listening to like-minded people, that's one of the best, and something I'll tell everybody to do. Like that just keeps me grounded, feeling sane, you know.
Yeah, I love that you have supportive people around you.
Yes,
that's huge.
You know, my family is fairly supportive. You know, they'll have their moments, but it never was a kick to the curb and sayonara. You know,
Good.
They work with me, and we have our mutuals. So if you have family, you know, or a decent support group, or not even just blood family, like family is way more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you know a lot of people? I mean, I'm assuming in your support group and in your circles, you know other trans people who don't have that kind of support.
Yes. And my friend Maddie in particular is a disabled veteran who lost most of her family members with coming out at her age. She came out. And you all know they are trying to do away with some of the what's it
Protections.
called? The oh my god. Ah,
Civil
it's
rights
important.
protections.
The veterans.
For the veterans, they're
Oh
trying
yeah,
to
the VA.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was it?
cut.
The
The
VA.
VAs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she, as of last week, lost her therapist and lost access to HRT.
Oh.
As of I think 2 days ago or so, she does have access now. So that's good at least. But
She shouldn't have had to do that.
right. It's just there are people a lot worse in a predicament than me.
Mhm.
And it affects everybody, you know. Excuse me for, I mean, when I was little, I always thought, you know, veterans we respect them, you know,
Yeah.
we give them the bare necessities, and now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The tables have turned in many, many, many
Yes.
ways.
Yeah.
So, can I ask you, Kendra, would you recommend all trans people get a passport if at all possible now?
Yes, I have mine.
Backup plan.
And I am lucky that my partner, my boyfriend, is in a dual citizenship
Oh,
to Austria.
Excellent.
So
nice.
I think all we need to do is get married, and I'm, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I never said I wanted to get married. I never really believed in the traditional marriage. This is totally off topic, but like it
No,
always
it's
pissed
not.
me off when they'll announce the couple, Mr. and Mrs. John Smith. That shit always pissed me off. I'm
Yeah.
keeping my last name, and you're gonna announce me by my
Good for
first
you.
and last name. I'm not taking his name. I'm not taking his last name. Like,
Forget that. Yeah.
so you know, I was always turned off with marriage, but if I need to
Mhm.
for some paperwork, I will.
Yeah. Some people are looking at it strictly as paperwork.
Yeah.
And
right.
in lavender marriages, right?
Yep.
Yes, do what you
Absolutely.
gotta do. Do what you gotta do. If you gotta jump up and leave the country, I mean,
Mhm.
it's in the back burner, but like sometimes I feel like, you know, maybe that's not plan D, that might be plan C.
Mm-hmm. I
It
think
is what
it's
it
smart.
is.
I think it's smart to at least think it through, think the process through. If this does go down, what needs to happen to get me out of here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
But I do have to say, when you get your passport to those, and any sort of situation to where you would need a birth certificate on hand, you know, be mindful of when and how you do that, and what sort of, you know, your P's and Q's need to be in a row, because they're out here sending U.S. citizens to Louisiana and El Salvador and
right.
And abducted Canadians that come across to do, you know, modeling work and oh my God, San Diego.
Yeah.
You know, let us look at your phone. Oh, you wrote something that we don't like. Oh, he wouldn't approve of that. You know, it's not off with your head time, but it's go get in that jail cell.
Yep.
And this is a horrifying place that we are. Never in my life, never in the life of any American has it been like it is now. Anyone unwilling to see that, anyone unwilling to acknowledge it, I'm sorry, qualifies as part of the problem. I wrote something down that I thought would be pertinent to tonight's show. So I'm just going to throw this out there and see, you know, what your response is to it. It's trans people are alchemists of the soul. Pain has an alchemical power by transforming the wisdom it brings into something of great value amidst the chaos of life's trials. Certain individuals possess an innate resilience, channeling their suffering into a deeper purpose. A tapestry unfolds as they leverage their own experiences to illuminate the paths of others.
Wow. Powerful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good one.
Very powerful, Andrea.
Takes your breath away. Yes.
Absolutely.
Pain, the purpose of this pain right now. I'm not saying embrace it. Resent the hell out of it. Shouldn't have to live like this. None of us should
No.
have to live like this.
Mhm.
But if this is what the conflict is, if this is what we must be, the formidable foe, we must be the adversary, because this isn't left or right.
Mm-mm.
This is right and wrong.
Right and wrong. This is
This
right and
is
wrong.
what is your value system? Do you even have one? What is your moral compass? Is it pointing true north? No one can have a crisis of conscience if they do not have a conscience.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah, use this to give you strength to be angry enough to be the resistance,
Mhm.
to stand up, to have the hope, and to have the knowing
Mhm.
that we are the people. We the people of
We're
this country.
the people.
The people, we are here.
Yep,
we are
here.
here, and we take our country back.
Yep. Yeah, because
Yeah.
this is not my country. I
don't recognize it.
Nope.
I do not.
And I know I personally have friends in other countries, and Andrea, I'm sure you do too,
Yep,
who have
plenty.
been contacting me saying,
Oh, yeah.
what?
Not
Mike-
coming to
Going on?
see you,
You know,
chick.
you have
Yep.
to stop this.
No.
You people, you Americans need to do something. Why are you allowing this?
Mhm.
It's
We're
insane.
not. We're not.
Yeah,
allowed.
we're not. Most of my friends know we're not. I mean, me personally, that I'm not. But I have like acquaintances online from other countries, and I continue to be surprised at the right-leaning views of some of those people.
Mhm.
That's hard. I mean, it's hard to do it within our community, and we talked about this a little bit last week. We have. It's more important that we protect people than we worry about a casual friendship online
Right.
or somebody that we're going to see in an event. It's
Yeah.
so much more important that we say these things are wrong, and if you think that they're okay, I'm not okay with you anymore.
Yep.
I'm just not.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
And the thing is that there are people that are in my life that I have to love from a safe distance.
Yeah.
I can
I
still
was
love
getting ready to say that. Yep.
Yeah. That's a better way to say
that
it.
safe distance is from the other side of the universe,
Yeah.
because that is how counterintuitive their worldview is to my own.
Hmm.
So literally juxtaposed in the extreme,
Hmm.
radically juxtaposed to my philosophy of love and light and care and embrace for humanity.
Hmm.
Do unto others as though you are the others, because eventually you will be.
Right.
Yeah. Or at least have somebody close to them that
Mhm.
is,
That is subjected to cruelty, who is objectified, who is lied about, who is disrespected, who is treated as something less than human. Absolutely unacceptable. And frankly, anybody that thinks that's okay, I am just like Lenny said, I'm not okay with them.
I'm done.
Not okay with that. I'm not.
I made room for it last administration. I'm not doing it this time.
Yep.
It
No.
was exhausting. It was
Yeah, it was-
exhausting. I'm
It
not
is
doing
exhausting. Deb and I talk about that all the time. Oh my God, I'm so fucking tired. I can't drink enough coffee.
Right.
It's mental exhaustion. For me,
I can't even enjoy water anymore.
I know. I mean, when my escapism is binging The Big Bang Theory and just laughing for a few hours because I have to get it out so that it doesn't, we cannot become what we loathe. And so I project out what, toxins build up in me. And I know that this last 10 years is part of why I got sick in the first place. And now I'm using that same anger and revulsion as I see this transformation of our society. I'm using it as nitroglycerin jet fuel to make the posters, walk the walk, talk the talk, get the platform out there, and do everything in my personal power to illuminate the world about this subject and so many others. This show was not accidentally titled A World Awakening. We are a world awakening. We are in the midst of the process of the paradigm shift.
Transformation.
Transformation. That's right.
Yeah, we are all transforming.
Yep.
Yes.
Every one of us, our planet.
Yep.
So let's make it a good transformation.
Yes.
Yeah, and thanks, Deb, for talking me off the ledge the other night. I don't even remember what I was so up. Oh yeah, now I do. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. That was awful.
I mean,
that was awful.
Watch news for 10 minutes, going to meltdown for 10 hours.
Yep.
And she's like, you have to stop that now, honey. Okay, because how are you gonna? And then the next morning, I had to go to the hospital to go get my infusion and to go get my, and the 5 hours.
Still talking to you.
Yeah, on the way. Breathe in the nose,
breathe
through the mouth. I'm sending the Reiki. It's like, oh my God. It's and there are times when I see something, I hear something factual, not made up, not fake news, factual.
It's righteous, righteous anger.
Who's close enough? All right, who's close enough to New York State to reach over and slap Bill?
I saw that. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
This hour has gone way too fast.
It has
too fast.
Oh my God.
I think it's really important that we all realize that we are in control of our own emotions. Yes.
Angry. Speak for yourself there.
But in those moments,
I'm not in control.
I do it every day, every day right now, because every day I'm reading the news and going, what the?
Yeah.
But I have to stop myself and say, okay, am I going to allow this to destroy me so I can't help anybody? Or am I going to breathe in and breathe out and calm my anxiety and know that we've got this? Fear is the opposite of love. It's the ultimate negative emotion. But if we use that fear to strengthen, to get that fire going, to make us do something, then it's a good thing. If you use that fear to be all anxiety ridden and not good for anybody, mostly yourself, then fear wins.
Kendra, we are all holding your hands.
Yes.
And I know
we're holding you.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
We're sharing one. I'm probably just hanging on your neck. I want you to feel the support, to feel the love, to know that we honor you, that it is a privilege for us to have you join us on this show tonight and to speak your truth fearlessly. You are a beautiful, beautiful soul, my dear. Beautiful.
Yes. And we're honored to have you.
Yeah.
So proud of you.
I
So
am compelled to say
Yes.
one piece of information.
Yes.
And it's been in my mind this whole show is to anybody out there listening, trans and otherwise. You know, turn on the news and you will see people like us getting arrested for
yeah,
I'm not saying sit out the battle, but pick your battles.
Yes.
Be safe, you know what I'm saying?
careful, be watchful.
Be
Yeah,
very watchful, yes. And you know, while being vocal and resisting is of the utmost importance, please read into what they're doing to us in jails and prisons.
Oh God.
We can't just get off of our HRT like this.
No.
could
It is
attack.
it might as well be, like Annie said earlier, off. It might as well be off with your head, if you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like it.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, I'll say it again: death before detransition, and I mean it.
Yeah. We are with you. We will all get through this together. We are stronger than the narrow-minded, head in the sand opposition to the notion that no one is free until everyone is free. And we've got a piece of paper to prove it. It's called the Constitution, that followed up nicely a little idea called the Declaration of Independence. And we are together and we are one. And let there be a complete transformation and total realization of oneness. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'll be on the phone with each of you in about 2 minutes after I take the puppies out. Everyone have a wonderful Passover, a beautiful Easter season. Live the light, be the light that you seek, and celebrate this season of light. Good night, everyone.
Love you.
Love
Good
you.
night.